Hello, everyone. My name is Hadiya Roderique, and it's an honor to be here. For a better Canada, a better country, we need to collectively figure out how to talk to people who don't agree with us, how to listen, and how to recognize that we are all on the same team and ultimately want the same thing: health and prosperity for all that live here. A better country is dependent on all of us stepping up and doing our part for collective betterment. And so naturally, today I'm going to talk to you about ultimate frisbee. You can also just call it ultimate if you want to be down with the lingo. I'm going to talk to you about ultimate as a model for discourse and personal responsibility. For those of you who don't know much about ultimate, imagine if football, basketball, and soccer had a baby, and that baby could throw a frisbee. I should actually say disc, because serious ultimate players don't say frisbee, but I'm trying to appeal to the masses. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world, has recently received recognition from the International Olympic Committee, and will be considered for inclusion in the 2024 Olympics. And though humility is seen as the quintessential Canadian trait, I'm going to brag a little. We Canadians are pretty great at it. At the last set of senior and junior world championships, Canada won 1 gold, 3 silvers, and 2 bronzes in the 7 categories of competition. We were the second most successful nation. I'll let you figure out who was first. And I myself speak to this model with some personal experience, as I've played competitive ultimate frisbee for the past 17 years of my life. I know I look like I'm 24, but black 36 is white 24. I've represented Canada at the World Championships, bringing home 3 world silver medals as a player and 1 as a coach. Ultimate has played a key role in my development as an athlete, but more importantly, my development as a person. The most interesting and unique element of Ultimate is not the physical play, but rather a spiritual element. We don't use referees. Yes, you heard me correctly, we don't have referees. At the highest level of our sport, internationally, the quadrennial World Championships, and at the World Games, which are the precursors to the Olympics, the players make their own calls and resolve their own disputes. I can see many of you looking at me quizzically because having grown up with hockey and soccer and basketball, this sounds bananas. However, for 40 years, Ultimate has grown and thrived, evolving into a highly competitive sport played around the world without the use of refs. This ability to prosper and flourish in the refless environment is in large part because of the central tenet of Ultimate, the spirit of the game. This refers to a spirit of sportsmanship that places responsibility for fair play directly on the player. Highly competitive play is encouraged, but never at the expense of mutual respect amongst competitors, adherence to the agreed-upon rules, or the basic joy of play. The integrity of Ultimate depends on each player's responsibility to uphold spirit, and thus is not taken lightly. This primary idea of personal responsibility runs contrary to most other sports, where players are accustomed to relying on external forces to ensure that the rules are followed. Flopping in soccer and basketball, cough, cough, LeBron James, are seen as part of the game. Football is rampant with this mentality, with players working very hard to hold as much as possible without drawing a flag. Some teams have even been known to improperly deflate footballs or other forms of cheating. And these sports lead us to believe that there is no way that people could keep up this spirit, this tenet, in the face of high stakes when a medal is on the line, for example. Some might say that it goes against every competitive instinct to allow your opponent to the benefit of the doubt. But in Ultimate, great teams and players have repeatedly demonstrated time and time again that you can bring all of your competitive instincts to a game without sacrificing integrity, fair play, or respect for your opponent. If we expect better, we can be better. And do we get it wrong sometimes? Of course. You will have people who will cheat or who will seek to win at all costs, as human impulses can rear their ugly head from time to time, just as in any sport and just as in life. But as noted by one organizing body, one of the many beauties of Ultimate is how, amid the most difficult of situations, utmost graciousness is allowed to meet that challenge head on. Through this balance, Ultimate players are free to demonstrate the most honorable and the most joyous sides of human nature in sport. In Ultimate, we have a primer on 10 things you should know about the spirit of the game. And I've picked a few that I think have the most to teach us about our path forward and as we engage in discourse with each other. If we apply these lessons more broadly, we'll see a better country. Lesson 1, treat others as you'd like to be treated, the golden rule. We are able to have spirited, non-refereed games when there is mutual respect between opponents. This comes from assuming the best of your opponent and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Lesson 2, have fun and play fairly. I feel like I'm Hal and Joanne right now. If you're going to hold a position, do it with honor and integrity. Inform yourself, educate yourself before you jump into the fray of discussion and debate. Fight fairly, with actual information and not with half-truths, misinformation, and false equivalency. Lesson 3, when you do the right thing, people notice. This is a lesson I'd like to teach every politician right now. You may not hear praise, there may not be a standing ovation, but people do notice. Eventually, their respect for you and their appreciation of the game, or your attempts to change our country for the better, will grow. Lesson 4, it will be hard. In Ultimate, spirit of the game is not some abstract principle that everyone just adopts and then games run smoothly without effort. Close calls are made in tight games, hard fouls are committed, it's tough, and if you initiate or contribute to the unraveling of spirit, the concept falls apart quickly. But if you act to mend things, the game heals itself, and we have a chance to heal now. We are facing high stakes right now at this juncture in time and discourse, but I believe that we Canadians can carry the ethos and the lessons of Ultimate beyond the field and into our lives. I like to think of Ultimate as the Canada of sports, by no means perfect, but full of good ideas and good people who can come together for the betterment and enjoyment of all. Thank you.